Hey you, one hand washes the other, right? If we just care for each other, we are all doing better, right? Right? Well, what's nice in a partnership with friends and family might not be so good when it comes to topics of economic interest. What if the doctor that is giving out the prescription of a medicine is as well receiving payments from exactly this company that is producing the medicine? What if the contractor is getting the job just because the son of one of the decision makers is getting a job? That's corruption. Let's talk about it. Before we start, I need your help. I already published a few videos, which are the first that I have ever made, and I'm still learning a lot about editing, voice recording, and how I can present these topics to give you better content. If you're interested in economics and economic history, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, give me some love in the comments, share this video, and also let me know in the comments below what other topics I should cover for you in upcoming videos. With that out of the way, let's go back to the video. Corruption is bad. I think we can all agree on that. It hurts the economy, and with that, us all. But corruption was always a part of society, and even during the Roman Empire. The Roman society knew two systems of fellowship. The official was the codex for the administration and the military. The informal was based on the following of people in exchange of courtesies and donations. The generals tried to get the obedience of its soldier by personal gifts. And from the language of the Roman Empire, Latin, we have nowadays word corruption, which is based on the Latin corrumpere, which means to spoil, rot, taint, and deprave. But where does courtesy end and corruption start? Small gifts are in many cultures a common courtesy, and there's a lack of understanding that this act might be unlawful. Transparency International is the global civil society organization leading the fight against corruption. The organization defines corruption as the abuse of entrusted power for private gain, which eventually hurts everyone who depends on the integrity of people in a position of authority. Transparency International differentiates between opportunistic corruption and structural corruption. Opportunistic corruption, for instance, is a bribery to get out of a speeding ticket. Structural corruption, however, is the long-term building of a network and dependencies of or in a group. Corruption is prevalent as soon as someone has to make a decision, and of this decision another person can have an advantage. Especially if the reasoning for the decision or the decision making is not public, this is good soil for corruption. Corruption isn't just an issue of poor countries. It exists in every country at any given time. Of course, money is the most obvious form of corruption. But basically everything that gives an advantage can be used for corruption. Tickets for a concert or sports event, vacations, a new set of golf clubs, you name it. And especially if corruption is in the public sector or in the administration, all the costs have to be paid by the whole society. This could either be as we as a consumer at the end have to pay for the spending on corruption of the company, as costs are always given in the end to the consumer, and the cost of corruption would be directly handed to the consumer. Or as the product or service in the end is even more expensive as if it would have been a fair competition. But evaluating the cost of damage that corruption has for every society is very difficult, as there is a high dark figure in this crime. And especially, it's just not drug cartels, a mafia or a clan who is participating in corruption. The most crucial form is when the political parties and players are participating in, therefore honing the system. And this also happens in Europe. Transparency International is publishing since 1995 the annual corruption index in more than 2/3 of all countries, having a score under 50 on their scale up to 100. Corruption is a problem worldwide. But at least Transparency International also sees some kind of a development. In general, people do more often report corruption nowadays, and many countries and companies start to implement measurements in their organizations to prevent from corruption. What about corruption in your country? Is it common? And what scandals have been there regarding corruption? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like and also watch my other videos. And I'll see you in the next one.